What if I told you that one of the most iconic fantasy worlds in gaming isn't entirely fictional? What if the Mushroom Kingdom is actually a stylized reflection of one of the greatest empires in human history? The Roman Empire? At first, it sounds ridiculous. But once you start comparing the structure, the culture, and even the architecture, the parallels start to feel intentional. Let's start with leadership. The Mushroom Kingdom is ruled by Princess Peach, a single central authority. Now think about Rome. While often associated with emperors like Julius Caesar, the Roman Empire operated under centralized power, especially in its later years. One ruler, one capital, one system controlling vast territories. The Mushroom Kingdom may look small, but it governs multiple regions, biomes, and populations. That's not a kingdom. That's an empire. Let's start with leadership. The Mushroom Kingdom is ruled by Princess Peach, a single central authority. Now think about Rome. While often associated with emperors like Julius Caesar, the Roman Empire operated under centralized power, especially in its later years. One ruler, one capital, one system controlling vast territories. The Mushroom Kingdom may look small, but it governs multiple regions, biomes, and populations. That's not a kingdom. That's an empire.
In Roman history, the empire constantly fought against so-called barbarian groups on its borders.
Now look at the enemies in Mario. Goombas, Koopa,
various creatures outside the central kingdom. They exist outside Peach's rule. They disrupt order. They invade structured areas.
From a Roman perspective,
these are external threats to civilization.
Now enter
Bowser, a rival ruler, leading forces against the central power. Rome had plenty of those.
Bowser isn't just a villain. He's a competing empire.
Roman architecture is iconic. Arches, stone structures, fortified buildings, large central cities. Now look at the castles in Mario. They're not random fantasy buildings. They're structured, symmetrical, and heavily fortified. Even the use of lava in later castles can be seen as symbolic. Rome was obsessed with volcanic regions like Mount Vesuvius.
Fire, destruction, power.
Mario castles feel less like fairy tale castles and more like militarized strongholds.
Coins are everywhere in Mario. You collect them constantly. They're standardized, identical, mass-produced. That's not random. That's a controlled currency system. Rome was one of the first empires to standardize coinage across vast territories.
It allowed trade, taxation, and economic control.
Mario's coin system reflects the same idea.
A unified economy spread across multiple regions.
You're not just collecting coins. You're interacting with an imperial currency system.
Rome had gladiator games.
Mass entertainment to keep the population engaged. In Mario's world? Constant action. Constant challenges. Endless obstacles. It's a stretch, but think about it.
The player is constantly entertained.
Distracted. Focused on progression instead of questioning the system. Bread and circuses.
But with mushrooms and turtles.
Let's talk about Mario himself. Mario,
He travels across regions, restores order, defeats enemies, and protects the ruling figure. That's not just a hero. That's a Roman agent. A soldier. A representative of the empire. He enforces stability. He defeats external threats. He ensures the system continues. Mario isn't just saving the princess. He's maintaining imperial order. Here's where it gets interesting. Rome eventually fell. Internal pressure. External threats. Overextension. In many Mario games, the kingdom is constantly under threat. Repeated invasions. Endless cycles of conflict. It's a system that looks stable, but is always on the edge of collapse. That's exactly how historians describe late-stage Rome. So is the Mushroom Kingdom literally based on the Roman Empire? Absolutely. Centralized rule. Structured infrastructure. Standardized currency. External threats. Military-style hero. The parallels are impossible to ignore. Maybe it's coincidence. Or maybe one of the most colorful worlds in gaming is quietly built on the blueprint of one of history's greatest empires.